Hey diary. Okay, so this is my last vlog before I go to bed. I was inspired by a coworker who did a blog on crazy people. And he shared a few of his experiences with them, and I'm totally gonna share mine because I've only been here for like 5 months, but I've seen so many crazy people. I have no clue what to do with myself. Like they're just walking around the streets like whatever. I mean, like they just play in the streets and just that's it. I don't know. They're crazy. Okay, but the first one I'm gonna go to is this one guy that rides the bus in where I live. I live in Jersey, so I ride like New Jersey Transit, which is whatever. But he always rides my bus, and what he'll do is he's like this man in this wheelchair. He's missing like both legs, and he has like these really matted, nasty dreads that are about to like fall off his head, and like he just doesn't have any teeth, and he'll just like sit at the bus stop licking his lips like this, like a frog. He looks like a frog, really. And then like he'll get on the bus and he'll sit where he's supposed to sit, like in the handicap area. And he smells so bad. He really smells like pee and like coffee. I don't know. He smells terrible. I hate it. I want to like take my cologne and just spray it on him and just like hose him down with it, just like psst, and see what he does. He'd probably like melt or something. But he will just sit there and then all of a sudden he'll start going into conversation. He's really, really loud about it. Like he won't just be like, talking to himself. No, he'll talk to the entire bus, but it's like to himself. It's like he'll fight. He'll go like, I hate you, you bitch. And then like he'll respond to it and say like, no, you're the reason I left. I hate you. I can't believe you did that to me. And he's like, I didn't do nothing to you. And then the other person's like, oh, you beat me. And so he keeps going on like this with himself for like 20 minutes, the entire bus ride. And then the bus driver will just sit there and like drive or whatever and let him off. And once he gets off, he literally just like sits. He'll sit on the curb like with his two wheels off the curb and like the two top wheels on top of the curb. So he's kind of like leaning over, and he'll just sit there for like 10 minutes and just wait. I guess wait for the other bus to come. I don't know what he does, but he just sits there, and just like that too. Like he won't put all wheels on the curb. He'll just like sit at like a little angle like this, like two wheels off the curb, and like here's the curb, and like two wheels are here, and then two wheels are like here. I don't know why. Why would you do that? What is it, like a back therapy or something? I'm afraid. I want to see one day when he falls over though into the street and nobody helps him, and like he gets run over by a car. That would be really funny, because then I wouldn't have to deal with him anymore. And then there's another crazy person that this guy doesn't ride the bus. He only stays in New York. He stays at the Path train station, which I take. But he won't leave the Path. He won't like leave the station. What he does is he'll kind of like walk around asking for money, and then he'll get to the bottom of the steps to like go up, and he will stop and he will seriously like stare at the top of just stare for like 5 minutes. I've seen him just stand there forever. And then he will start asking people if there's like monsters up there. And he's like, I'm scared to go up there, hold my hand, I need a bathroom. And everybody's like, ew, and he's like asking if there's monsters. And it's so funny watching the tourists, because the tourists are like, um, you know, speaking French or whatever. And he like looks at them and they're all like scared and they're like leave me alone, you know. And I'm just like, the best medicine with that man is just like walk by him, because you say anything to him and he's crazy. He'll like follow you like a cat. Like seriously, I saw a group of tourists. Like I was coming home from work and going down the steps, and the group of tourists. Did I say terrorists? I meant tourists. Um, Tourists like were walking, and the little man was like, there's monsters up there, I need a hand. And they're like, ew, leave us alone. And he literally followed them and was like, I need you guys to help me, oh my gosh, the air's gonna burn me and the monsters are gonna get me. And the tourists were like, oh my god, we're French, we don't know what you're talking about, we need to go back to France. And I think they were French, but they didn't say that. They were like speaking French or something to each other, and their like little girl that was wearing no clothes, because that, the French, they don't dress for some reason, they don't shave or dress, was like running around like mommy, mommy in French, and the mom was like running around the girl, and the dad was just like trying to hold off the homeless man who was talking about the monsters. He's pretty funny though. That little homeless man, he's like whatever. I think it's hilarious that he won't leave. Because I'm just like, how much money are you going to get from it? I mean, like, a subway station's a good place to be, but, like, he just will not go up the steps. Not even one step. I want to see him. I want to see what happens if he goes up on stuff. If like someone just like picks him up and takes him outside, what would happen? Hopefully he would really like burn like a vampire, like just burn in the sun. That would be nice. All the crazy people just need to like melt or something into like a puddle and go into the subway systems where they belong. I hate homeless people. I hate crazy people. If you're crazy, leave me alone. Um, but then there's another woman too, and she leaves the train station every now and then. But she is, she's a little crazier than both of them. She sleeps in the subway station, the PATH train station. She'll just sleep there in like a bed. She'll make her bed like with. She'll have like a cart and like a drink, and like a pillowcase and some sleeping bag or something, and she'll just lay in the subway station, and then she'll leave and go to like Exchange Place, which is in New Jersey. She'll leave and she'll go to it, and she'll just like walk around there for a little bit, and she'll go back. And when she's on the train, I rode the train with her before, and when she's on it, she will seriously sit in every seat once. And if like someone's sitting there, she will kind of like groan and then sit next to him, get up, sit next to like sit in the next seat or whatever. And then once the people get up, she'll like run back to that seat and sit down for like 2 seconds and then get back up and start where she was again. So seriously, like she'll start from the end of the train all the way to the front of the train and sit in every single seat at least once. And I wonder if she does it because I'm like, I mean, I guess you could, but like people think she's so crazy because like I seriously came on one day and she was like hopping around the seats, and like I sat down and I was thinking in my head like, watch this not be a seat that she hasn't sat in, and it wasn't. And she just kind of stared at me for a second, and I was just like, because there was all these empty seats around, and she just kind of stared at me, and I was like reading my book, and she like makes some coughing gesture and like kind of kicks her foot, but she didn't touch me. But she like kicks her foot on the ground, and I looked up and I said yes, and she was like, she just kind of looked at me for 2 seconds, and then she sat next to me and then jumped and did it again. And as I was getting off, like I got off my seat and was going up to the front door to like get off, and she like sat on my seat and then like bounced to the front of the train. I don't know. I think she's the craziest one of them all because if I had a gun, I would probably shoot her numerous times because she's a little ridiculous. She won't say anything unless someone calls her crazy. Like some woman, some old lady, old Jewish lady, you know the Jews, they don't have any tact. She was like bouncing around, you know, doing her little thing, and this old Jewish lady goes, "Ma'am, sit down, you are acting crazy." And the woman kind of like still's bouncing around, and the Jewish lady, of course, couldn't like help herself, so she was like, "Lady, you are scaring everyone. Sit down, you're a crazy bitch." Which I didn't realize Jews could cuss anyways, but she did say it. And the lady like stops mid. It was so funny. It was like a fight scene in a movie. She stops mid jumping, I guess, and looks at her and goes, "God will punish you for this," and like points her finger at her. And I was thinking in my head, I think it's ironic because you know God's gonna punish the Jews anyways. That was wrong. Sorry, I won't say that again. But regardless, it was so funny because then the Jew was like, "Oh my God," and then she started reading her like Torah or whatever they read. But that was by far the funniest thing. And then the little old homeless lady just started bouncing around and doing her shit again. I don't know, like that. Those are just three of them. I've seen so many. I wish I could tell you about them all, because there's a lot of them. But I haven't experienced. Like they're not ones that I see. Those are the three that I see like usually on a daily to day basis, and like they're kind of funny. I mean, they spice up your life. You need like the excitement of being able to say, well, that's not me. You know, at least I'm not that crazy lady that's jumping around the train, or the crazy man that can't leave the subway station, or the other crazy man who licks his lips and sits on the curb. I don't know. But those are my crazy people. I have more, but I don't feel like doing it right now. I have to go to bed. I have to be at work. Womp. Which means I have to deal with all the crazy people all again. Ugh. Alright. But night, diary.